They fight in blood. They sweat for victory. But how much do UFC fighters actually earn? Are they millionaires, like boxing champions? Or is the truth far more brutal? Today, we're diving deep into the world of UFC money. From fight purses to sponsorships, bonuses, and secrets Dana White doesn't want you to know. Think UFC fighters are rich like boxers? Think again. Most of them make way less than you'd expect, and it all starts with a tiered contract system. Unlike boxing, the UFC uses a tiered contract system. Most fighters don't get paid millions. In fact, entry-level fighters earn just $10,000 to show up and another $10,000 if they win. On-screen graphic. UFC fighter pay structure, entry-level, 10K plus 10K equals 20K win equals mid-tier, 50K plus 50K equals 100K main event 100K to 500K flat equals, but that's not what they take home. After taxes, coaching fees, manager cuts, and training expenses, most fighters lose nearly 50% of their pay. On-screen text. Example, $20,000 win equals tax, 30%, equals minus $6,000 coach manager, 20%, equals minus $4,000 travel training, equals minus $2,000 take home, $8,000 voiceover. That's less than some people make working at a desk job equals only big-name fighters like McGregor, Jon Jones, or Adesanya earn 6 to 7 figures, and that's usually because of pay-per-view shares or sponsorships. On-screen comparison chart. McGregor, $3 million base plus $50 million PPV Khabib, $6 million total entry fighters, 10 to 20K voiceover. Most fighters, they're grinding for survival.
You've seen them fight, bleed, and chase glory inside the octagon. But what happens when the spotlight fades? When the crowd stops cheering? Movie camera visual, cage lights shut off slowly. A fighter walks out of the arena alone into the dark parking lot. Musical note, dark cinematic music begins, slow and emotional. Now you know how much UFC fighters make. Some earn 6 figures. But most? They make just enough to survive, not enough to live comfortably. So what do? They hustle. They grind. Outside the cage, they become everyday people doing everyday jobs. Movie camera visuals, fighter enters a small apartment, takes off gloves, opens a half-empty fridge. Some fighters coach kids in local gyms, sharing their passion, teaching the next generation. Not because it pays a lot, but because it helps them stay close to the sport. Movie camera visual, fighter holding mitts for kids, encouraging them, smiling through fatigue. But behind the smile is pressure, bills, rent, injuries. Others drive Uber. Imagine training 6 hours a day, then sitting in traffic for 6 more, picking up strangers, hiding the pain of your last leg kick. Movie camera visual, fighter in car looking at the road. Zoom in on bruised knuckles holding the steering wheel. People see a driver, not a warrior. They don't know that the man who just dropped them off fought on ESPN last month. And some fighters, with no other option, work as bouncers, standing outside clubs, dealing with drunk strangers, using discipline, not fists, until they can't avoid a fight. Movie camera visual, fighter in security uniform, calmly breaks up a crowd, looks away quietly. He's not just keeping others safe. He's saving enough for his next training camp. These fighters aren't just athletes. They're survivors. Inside the cage, they fight for victory. Outside, they fight for rent, family, and future. Movie camera visual, fighter doing laundry. Another icing his knees in a cheap bathtub. Third cooking simple food on a stove. You may cheer for a knockout, but you should also respect the struggle behind it. They're warriors inside the cage, but just normal workers outside it. So next time you watch a UFC fight, remember, not every fighter is rich. Most are just fighting to survive. Movie camera visual, montage of coaching, driving, bouncing, crossfade with a slow-mo fight clip. End with fighters staring into mirror before training. Musical note, music fades to silence. Black screen. Text on screen. Respect every fighter.